qualified professional development coach. My main space of working is with entrepreneurs, leaders, executives, and professionals. And I've been in the space for just over a year and a half now, and I absolutely love what I do. Um, I really use a tool called strength-based development, in which I get the chance to really help people understand exactly who they are. And it's the best thing ever. I wouldn't change it for the world. In terms of my background, um, I am Black, British, African, of Nigerian descent. I was born and bred in London, and that was the best place I could ever grow up, really, because it just gave me such an understanding of different cultures, different races, different types of people, and how they all come together in the melting pot that is London. Yeah, I couldn't imagine being born anywhere else in the world. It was great. Life for me has been a really interesting journey. It felt like for a good period of time, I was on that track of being the typical Nigerian. You go to a normal state school, and then you get moved to a private school, and then you do all of your studies and come out with top grades, um, and then kind of work through life becoming a doctor, a lawyer, or an accountant. And it kind of was en route there, and then I started hitting potholes, realizing that I wasn't fitting the mold. I wasn't the stereotypical super brain that a lot of Nigerians are, who are able to work super hard and come out with amazing grades. And even though they put me in a private school, it was like, yeah, great, you're doing okay, but you're never doing as well as everybody else, and definitely never doing as well as my parents would have wanted me to. And I think the wheels started to come off when I got my GCSEs, and they weren't great. My good to normal standard, but my parents weren't happy. The school wasn't happy. Then went to a boarding school in Colchester. Again, the same thing happened. And I just really started realizing that I do not fit the mold. I cannot force myself into the mold. I cannot be who everybody wants me to be. Therefore, I kind of have to forge my own way. So I got to the point of choosing a uni, and I thought, look, what do I really, really want to do? Even though I had a list of courses that my dad wanted me to do. And I picked menswear fashion design technology. And it was one of the best choices I ever could make. My parents weren't happy. They were a bit confused, like, fashion? Why do you want to do fashion? But I stuck by it. I pushed in. First year was rocky, and I had to just try and work my way through. And I think even then I was trying to again conform, because that's what you do. And I realized that that just wasn't going to work. And so I then just started working out what was my formula to life and how could I make life work. And in the second year, I found my formula. I found my way of interpreting briefs and understanding what really I could do based on the brief I was given, and started really pushing it in my direction, and started really hitting really great grades coming back, really great feedback coming back from lecturers, and pushed all the way through. I turned my final year project into a business, and we created a business plan, business cards. Like, we were supposed to do a 6-piece collection. We did like a 24-piece collection, and we did it focused on creating products for businesses, and it was amazing. So that was a great learning period in my life, just to understand that you make your life what you want it to be, and stop following what everybody else wants you to do. You forge your own way. That was amazing. And likewise, further on, decided I'd found the woman of my dreams. I'd found the one. Um, and we got married, and I pushed on, and people didn't want me to get married early, but we got married early. We made our own choice, and we celebrated 14 years of marriage, like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. And so again, I found my own way, and now we have an amazing family, and which I'm so blessed to have. But it was, again, just me not following the grain, doing what everybody else wanted me to do, but finding the right path that was perfect for me. And I'm so thankful I made that choice. She is the best person who I could ever imagine being with. She absolutely completes me. She is that cliche And I'm thankful, so thankful to have her. And so on that journey of really not conforming, I found I'm super sensitive to conformity and spotting when somebody's super individual and super unique in the way that they are, but they're leaving their uniqueness on the shelf somewhere just to focus on being who they think that they should be. And I've got a real kind of aversion to that. Um, and so for me, it's now really about almost taking time to understand how is that problem being exacerbated in this world that we live in. You can see two twins are born side by side, like a minute apart or 2 minutes apart, but yet they're very different. You can see an entire world is made up of different people. A country or a continent is made up of different people. The country is made up of different people. A city and a town are made up of different people, and even people in an individual family are all made up of different people. So there is no need for any of those people in any of those spheres to be the same. Everybody is bringing something unique and interesting to the table. And so it's almost become part of my mission to really help people unlock and understand what their difference is, what their uniqueness is, and really bring that to the table, understanding what the value they deliver is and how they can really bring that value to help so many other people, and so other people can see that value and realize that value. And it's definitely a nod to my faith. I believe in God. I believe that we were created. I believe that there was a painter who paints amazing art pieces, and we are those pieces. Um, and he's amazing at creating so much uniqueness and difference in each one of us. And I believe in celebrating that difference. So if there was a tagline I had to say that fully described me, I fully believe in celebrating the differences amongst us, for sure. And so on my journey, I've become a coach, a professional development coach, and I really spend time with leaders, with entrepreneurs, with professionals, helping them understand how their difference features in the life that they're living. And so upon that journey, I also created Beyond the Mojo. So, what is Beyond the Mojo? Beyond the Mojo is a space I've created as an extension of my coaching practice, and it's really almost an extension of the conversations I have on a daily basis with the interesting people that I meet, and a way of me really surfacing my passion of discovering difference, celebrating difference, and almost helping people understand that difference is good, difference is okay, and actually there's real value in the difference that we have. So Beyond the Mojo is really going to be a collection of stories and the surfacing of conversations I've had with different interesting people along the way, so that anybody who's listening, anybody who is just hearing some of the content that's being spoken through, can also gain some confidence in just knowing I can lead an organization based on who I am, not who I'm supposed to be. I can create a business based on who I am, not what the Dummy's Guide to Entrepreneurship says that I should do it in. And really just I can run my day-to-day job, I can run my life based on who I am, and really push in and find the value of who I am, rather than just thinking this is the superhero I need to be, this is the person everybody likes, this is who I'm supposed to be, that my parents have taught me to be. No. Who are you? And let's bring that to surface and work with that. So that is Beyond the Mojo. Now, the actual mojo has its own meaning. And really, we my wife, of course, was involved in coming up with that name. It was really a chance to look at that statement that, oh, that person's really found their mojo. And it was really a chance for us to look at when you see somebody who's walking in a place which looks like they've really found it, they're really walking a great path. What's going on there? What's going on beyond the surface? what's causing them to be able to kind of work so well, walk so well, and kind of deliver the value in the way that they are. And so a lot of the conversations will be surfacing that kind of thing. Well, what is somebody doing? What are they investing their time in? What's going on beyond the surface? Hence beyond the Mojo. And who's actually going to be on the show? It's going to be a whole mix of people. It would be people from high levels of management, right down to kind of professionals who are just doing a really great job on the ground, but are doing it with some understanding of who they are and some real finesse. Um, and so we'll never know who's going to be on the show. There might be some surprise guests. There might be some kind of high profile guests. We literally don't know at the moment, but we're just going to enjoy the journey and really see where it takes us. And for me, I'm not really going to be fussed on trying to get major characters or people on the show. For me, it's the person who's sitting next to me has the interesting story which I want to get into and I want to surface detail from. So that's going to be the real interest and the really where I want people to take things away from. So it's one guest at a time. For me, it's one coaching client at a time, and seeing what we can do one person at a time. And so I know there's lots of content out there, and I'm not trying to inundate everybody's podcast wish list or playlist with lots more content. But if you feel like this could be something that you could really get into, then feel free and subscribe to the podcast. And yeah, give me any comments that you feel, any feedback, that'd be great. So yeah, welcome to Beyond the Mojo.